So I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely love books. As you can see on the wall there, and there's more books there, more books there, and more books over there. The simple fact is, I tend to buy more books than I do read them. What I mean is, I buy them faster than I can read them. So why do I like books so much? Well, they can be educational, inspirational, motivational, and just downright entertaining. Now, what are some rules in regards that I try to follow when it comes to books? Well, one, I try to read a minimum of one chapter of a non-fictional book a day. It is very important to me to focus on personal development, and there are so many great books and material out there that will help you focus on what areas of life you want to focus on, whether it's a personal area, physical, mental, spiritual, or professional aspect of life. I guarantee that if you look hard enough, there is a book that will at least help you get started in figuring out what you need to do to further develop yourself in those areas. The other thing I try to do that I'm not so good at following through on, but I'm trying to work on, is reading a minimum of one chapter of a fictional book every day. Now, what's the purpose of a fictional book? Well, fiction is just that. It's fantasy. It's a story to be told. And sometimes we just need that mental break, and living in a world of fantasy, escaping reality for a little bit, isn't a bad thing for your mental health. The next thing is I have a very not really strict, but ideal method in which I filter what books I buy. And when I say filter, I don't mean like filtering the topics or the category or what it's focused on so much as filtering like the type of book. Let me explain. So I will only buy a book new if it's within the $20 or less range, within a couple dollars. So if it's like $22 for a new book, then I'll still just buy it brand new. But if a book's gonna cost more than that, unless you literally can't get it for any other price and it's a really important book, I just won't spend a huge ton of money on a book. I would much rather buy a used book following the rating system that a lot of your used book retailers like Amazon and Barnes & Noble use to know whether or not the quality of the book is worth spending the price on. Another thing that's a big deal for me is I will always buy hardcover over paperback first. Reason for this is, one, hardcover books, you got a better, stronger quality book. Your book's not gonna fall apart as easily or get damaged as easily because it's a hard cover. It's not paperback. It's not just gonna simply tear and fray away. That being said, there are plenty of books out there that you cannot get hardcover copies of, and well, that's just part of life. The other reason why I prefer hardcover over paperback is a lot of your retail paperback versions of books, especially when it comes to novels, the books are just so small that they become these tight little bound boxes. Here, let me show you what I mean. They become books like this, where they're these tight little boxes that are really thick, but they're small books, which usually means that the print size is a lot smaller, and you end up with damage in the seams of the book because you have to pull it open more in order to actually be able to read what's inside of it. You know how I said before I tend to buy books faster than I can read them? Well, that's because I strongly believe in the rule. You can buy books at any time, and you should, especially if it's a really popular book that just came out that you know is gonna sell quick. You're gonna wanna buy it, even if it's gonna take you 6 years to get around to reading it, because guess what? Books are dying out, and if you want physical copies of them, unfortunately, they can run out of stock really fast, and it can be hard to get a physical copy. And I personally, while I do read Kindle books, while I'll even listen to audiobooks, I prefer a physical hard copy book, especially if it's a nonfiction book, because if it's a non-fictional book, I don't mind opening it. I don't mind having a highlighter to highlight key parts within the book. I don't mind, taking the corner of the pages and bending them over to bookmark areas. Now, granted, that is not actually something I'm a fan of doing, but I will do it if necessary. I would much rather take the time to apply something like these in order to mark certain pages, which ironically, I do more in my journal than I do in books themselves. A lot of books, I end up just bending a little page corner, and not the first thing I would recommend, but you do what you gotta do, when you can do it, how you can do it, etc., etc., etc. Another thing is the majority of the books that I buy on Amazon. And why is that? Well, one, you're usually gonna find the best retail price for a book on Amazon. It is very rare that I find the book cheaper somewhere else. Or if I find it somewhere else, it's about the same price as what it is on Amazon. And honestly, Everyone's over having to make new accounts for every little site that tries to compete with every little site. I would much rather just stick with a giant retailer for my own convenience. And as long as we're talking about Amazon and how you can use it for your book opportunities, if you go and you add, let's say you add 30 books to your Amazon shopping cart, but you're not ready to order all of them, but they're just more there because it's easier than trying to create another list for another set of books, because honestly, Amazon's list system can actually be really a pain in the butt to manage at times. Save for later is your friend. If you go into your Amazon cart, you click save for later on the book that you want to save for later, it'll put it in that save for later category within your shopping cart. You go down to that save for later area and you can now select categories depending on what you're looking for in save for later. So there's a whole category for books and you can go through those books and find the ones that you want to order. For me, I'm literally adding books to my save for later on nearly a daily basis, not because I want to order them right now, but because I might get in the mood to order a bunch of books, or I might be looking for some new books to start reading, and I can just go through that list and see what grabs my attention in the moment and order them. All right, everybody, that is why I love books. Books are amazing. They serve so many great purposes. You can learn so much from them. You can be entertained by them. You can get a break from whatever is going on in your life if you take a moment to sit down and just read a little bit. I would love to hear if you guys have any book recommendations. Please post them in the comments below. I would love to hear what your guys' favorite books are. I'd love to hear what you guys are looking for learning, educating yourself on, or what you would like to read in a non-reality type way, so reading a fictional book. If you guys are looking for recommendations, ask in the comments. I will do my best to contribute to finding you guys stuff that maybe you can get started with, as well as plenty of other people are going to express their thoughts on it as well. Don't forget to take a moment to like, comment, share, and subscribe to my channel. More great content on the way. Thank you for watching today's video, and I will see you guys next time.